Hello, and welcome back to the Radiance Realm. I'm Jessica, and my last video that I posted was about just some underlying themes that I've noticed in the patriarchy and how they sort of play out on a big macro scale in society, but also how that is the core work that we have to be doing, the core themes that we have to be looking at within ourselves, and where we allow or have created our own belief patterns, thoughts, actions in our lives that are rooted in those patriarchal values. So let's actually take a couple deep breaths, because this can be sort of triggering, and I want it to really land in your body and in mine. So I'm gonna take a couple deep breaths here, and I want you to join me. You can plant your feet firmly on the floor. Lift up your spine, your chest, and tuck your chin down slightly just to keep your whole neck in alignment. And we're going to take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Let's do that 3 times. And then we'll slow down the breath and imagine it going up vertebrae by vertebrae, nice and slowly on the inhale and nice and slowly on the exhale. So we're just going to take it deep and regular the first 3. You can let out any sigh. So those first 3 are just to clear our energy. And now let's go nice and slowly, and I want you to imagine your inhale going up your spine vertebra by vertebrae for your inhale, and elongate it as slowly as you can make it. And just taking note of how you feel after one of those nice, slow, deep breaths. I snuck another one in there, so, okay. Just notice how you feel now. So, I believe that a lot of this inner work that we do on ourselves, and a lot of these, creating new belief systems, all that stuff, when you start looking at these deep patterns within you, you will find that a lot of this has been created when you were a child, unconsciously created when you were a child. And a lot of the time it is because as a kid, you don't have really any control over the situations that are happening to you or happening around you, right? We rely on our parents for everything. It's very much what they say and do goes, and you're just kind of along for the ride. So we've developed all of these things as a means to grab onto some sort of control, especially when we're feeling out of control or we don't have any. Then of course, and there's multiple things that can be rooted. It's not just this one thing. You don't clear it up once and it's done. That's an end. If I start talking about that, I can go all day long and I'll never shut up. But I really want to highlight how we control, or we seek to control things because we feel so out of control. And the number one thing that all of us need to think about is first and foremost, the ways that we are doing this to ourselves and the ways that we are doing this to our bodies. This is so patriarchal, guys, when you're just in that mode of like, I just have to, your body is not feeling great. Maybe it's calling for rest and you just like need a day. But it just so happens to be the day that you have these certain meetings at work, or you have this project is due, so you have to show up, or you feel as though you have to show up. So what happens from there is you're overriding your body's own natural cycles and rhythms and flows and feelings. Our bodies are so deeply feeling. That's literally what the point of them is. And so when we're overriding it, we're diluting that trust that we have for ourselves. When we're overriding what we need, we're overriding our divine intuition. So now your body doesn't trust yourself. And now there's a disconnect between you and your body and what you're feeling and what it needs and what it's calling for in that moment. If you are always overriding it, if you are always saying, well, I just have to get up and get ready and get there, I have to show up, I have to do the thing, have to, and you feel like there is no choice in the matter, but you always have a choice. Everything in your life, I need to stress this because so many people feel so stuck in situations, but you always have a choice. Whether you are consciously aware of the choice that you are making, or whether you're kind of just like, yeah, sure, whatever, floating along, going into all these certain things that you don't want to be doing, and then you feel like you wake up one day and you're like, how did I get here? And this doesn't feel great, and now I'm living this life that I followed everyone else's advice, and I overrode all of my own, and I forced myself into all of these situations where I didn't want to do it, where I didn't want to show up, where my body was not ready. And we are taught to override that, so for the sake of performance, for the sake of getting things done, for the sake of money, right? Everything is tied to that, and it is all by design. So slowly starting to, it's overwhelming to feel like you're going to do it all at once, but slowly untangling this, starting with yourself, starting with your body, and you'll see the ways that it sort of, when you focus it on yourself, it just kind of like melts away in other situations. So this is like maybe if you are a parent, and not saying that anyone does this, but like, you know, you seek to have that control over your kids, or you seek to have that control over other family members or anything. I mean, it goes on and on. You seek to control your partner, and you seek to control this and control these external things around you. And a big thing I want to say now as I'm saying this is that you're not leaving any room. When you're controlling everything, you're not leaving any room for the divine. You're not leaving any room for magic to unfold. You're not leaving any room for the miracles to happen in your life when you're so laser focused on, this is what my outcome has to be, and this is how I get there, and this is the thing that I have to do. Meanwhile, your body is communicating with you like, hey, why don't we try it this way? Hey, this would be more fun. And you're like, no, we don't have time for fun. We have to get it done. There's always time for fun. The whole point of being alive is for this to be fun, is for this to feel magical, is for this to feel like a miracle. Make your entire life this beautiful, fun, magical miracle. That is what it is always meant to be. That is what it is always meant to be. And I'm working on getting my business like completely up and running. I feel so, I feel like my purpose is to help other women find their purpose and create their dream life around that purpose. And I am now living mine as a business owner, creating my coaching business. I'm working on getting a website up and running. I'm working on getting coaching programs up and running, but I am available for one-on-one coaching work if that's something that interests you. If you're really interested in doing the inner work and being introspective and getting curious, you wonder why things are the way they are, and do they always have to be? We're getting curious over here. We're getting curious and we're gonna make it fun. Okay? So give me a follow, subscribe, like, share it with your friends. Also, any comments, like, feel free to share your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. If you've ever thought around these certain themes, if it triggered something for you, if it's something that you've been thinking about a lot lately too, I would love to hear it below. So that's all I got for you. That was kind of like a big rant, but yeah. Okay, see you next time.